All right, math notes on midpoint. So a midpoint is a point that divides a line segment into two parts of equal length. For example, on this segment AB, M is the midpoint. So it's the exact halfway mark, which means that the section AM is the same length as the section MB. So those two halves would be equal. And to find the coordinates of that point, what we actually have to do is take the average of the coordinates of each endpoint. So we'll take the average of the x's and the average of the y's. When we average 2 points, or two numbers, excuse me, we basically add the two numbers and then divide by 2. And this is where this formula comes from down here, the midpoint formula. So we take the average of the x's to get our first coordinate, which would be the first x, x1, plus the second x, x2, and then divide by 2. And similarly, we would average the y's. So we take the first y, y1, and the second y, y2, and add them together and divide by 2. And once we simplify, this will be an ordered pair that represents the point halfway, the midpoint. So I'm going to show you how this works with our example here. So I have my 2 points, point 1, 3, and the second point, which is 5, 8. And I'm going to make sure that I have these labeled carefully. So this is an XY pair, and it's our first pair. And then this is an XY pair, and it's our second pair. And now to find the point M, I'm going to take the average of the x's. So we have 1 is the first x and 5 is the second x. So 1 plus 5, and then divide by 2. That's for the x coordinate. And then we're going to average the y's, 3 plus 8, and then divide by 2. And now all I need to do is simplify. So we're going to have m, which is equal to 1 plus 5 is 6 divided by 2, comma, 3 plus 8 is 11 divided by 2. And then one more step to go. And finally, we have that our midpoint M is at 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. So the coordinates of this point up here on the graph are at 3, comma 5.5. And let's just double check. It looks like we're going over 1, 2, 3, and up 5.5. That looks just about right.